Why, hello. I love the beach. It's my happy place. And it's no secret that I love food too.
A good meal can make my heart sing.
Do the lasagna.
And soothe my soul.
Yeah, come on, come on.
So I'm getting out and about,
Let's go.
Let's go.
meeting some amazing people,
I like it hot and spicy.
producing wonderful, feel-good food.
I'm a happy boy.
I'll be sending my friend and fellow chef, Joseph Dennison Carey, off in search of some inspirational stories of his own.
Slav, I want another one, is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got plenty to share.
All the amazing characters and flavours we discover will inspire me to conjure up a treasure chest of delicious dishes
Chicky.
that I know will put a smile on your face too.
So join me on my travels and in my kitchen for some good mood food. Hello and welcome. Today is all about the little humble grains and pulses, so important in food, but often so overlooked. All of my recipes are going to be concentrating on the wonderful contribution they make to Ainsley's Good Mood Food. I'm in Plymouth visiting Rome Bakery to find out why they have queues down the street.
Look at that.
I make a delicious Dorset apple cake, perfect with a cup of tea.
Woo-woo.
Chef Joseph is in God's own country to find out why farmer Adam turned his hand to an ancient pulse.
It's delicious, mate.
I make caraway and orange roasted vegetables with mixed grains.
A little bit of wild grain mixing.
And to finish, Tikka Kebabs with a chickpea salad and coriander chutney. But first, a scrumptious summery salad. It's going to be my Pan-Seared sardines with roasted vine tomato and bread salad. Talk about bread. Look at the one I've got here, Don. We're talking about getting a bit of the old grain in there. This is absolutely lovely, packed full of flavour. What do we need first? Well, I'm going to get my tomatoes roasting in the oven, and I've got some gorgeous vine tomatoes here. Check these out, guys. Look, when you buy them on the vine, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get flavour. I'm just going to cut them in half, guys. I'm not even going to take the eye out the back. That's beautiful. Look at that. It's fantastic in the tray. Now, what about opening them up a little bit? A bit of salt does that, okay? I've also got some sugar here. Now, I'm just going to sprinkle that on the top of those toms. Can you see what I'm doing there? That's probably about a tablespoon of sugar there. Lovely. I've also got some chili flakes here. Just a few of those sprinkled on the top there. Fresh thyme, love it. There you go. Just working that like that. And just sprinkle those on top. And already that looks good, doesn't it? And then a little bit of the sherry vinegar that I'm putting on top there. And then we're going to do the same with our olive oil. Beautiful. Now, all I'm going to do is pop that into my oven. That's 160 fan, that's gas mark 4, for about 30-35 minutes until they begin to soften. I'll pop that into my oven. Oh, it's lovely. Now, there's something else that I actually want to pop in the oven too, and it's the bread, the most important part of this recipe, because it really is all about grains and pulses. And here it is, a good piece of bread here, okay? All I want you to do, though, is just tear it up. Can you see that? A bit like the panzanella, you know, when you're doing a bit of a bread salad, you've got an old bit of bread. There's a great opportunity to use it up. Maybe a little bit of fresh thyme, okay? A little bit of that going on top. Drizzle a little bit of the olive oil on top. Good amount of olive oil there. I'm going to soak up all that lovely flavour, reinvigorate the bread. A touch of salt, there it is, and a little bit of pepper. And guess what? That goes into your oven for about 15 minutes. All right, let that toast up a little bit. What about these wonderful things? Check this out. Look at that, a beautiful plate of fresh sardines. And some of them have previously been boned out, taken the head off there. How would you do that? I'm going to show you a quick way of doing it. You can get your fishmonger to do it for you, actually. Here we are, look at that. And what you do is just open the sides of the fish there like that. Can you see it? Put your finger underneath. That's okay. And then you can go for it, and you can just push down, look. Look at this, I'm just pushing down with my hand like that, okay? And when we turn that over, we've loosened that bone there. Can you see that? Look. And I'm just going to pull that there like that, look. Snap it at the top there. Very easy. And there it comes down there, look. Turn that over, whop that off, and there you have it, look. Beautiful. There's your lovely filleted sardines, full of omega-3 and all that. All the right things, oily fish, just brilliant. A little bit of oil going in my pan here now. We're gonna pop our fish in skin side down. 2-3 minutes for those, no more than that. Turn them over. Right, let's turn over these beautiful sardines. You can see that. And look what I'm doing is I'm turning that over. I'm turning off the heat. Don't need that. The residual heat is going to finish those sardines perfectly. All right, they're looking great. Let's get our tomatoes out. And, of course, our bread. Check those out, guys. Look at that. You can see those lovely flecks of thyme and chilli and everything are still on the top there. More importantly, I've got some juice there at the bottom of my tray. So when we take those tomatoes out, I'm going to take my bread and I'm going to put those lovely crispy, crunchy pieces of bread that have been in the oven, and I'm going to soak up some of that tomato juices. Here's my bread. Look at that here. Check that out. Lovely, crispy. Yeah, we like it crunchy, don't we? Okay, so we serve up, and I'm going to take my serving plate here. Beautiful. I'm going to scatter that with a little bit. I've got some fresh rocket here that I'm just going to dart around my plate like that. Beautiful. And then we can take our tomatoes here. There you go. And just pop those down there like that. Beautiful. Just going to take my bread, pop them in there like that. That's okay, look. That's okay. You can. Beautiful. Can you see all those juices? I'm just going to get my bread, just push that in there like that so it's soaking up all those lovely juices. And just casually pop some of those beautiful pieces around there like that. And then our sardines. Fantastic. Just any way you want to serve them, guys. Just take that, put that there like that. That's beautiful. That's really, really pretty, isn't it? Okay, not quite finished yet. I've got some basil here. A little bit of that like that. Or just a few bits of that, not too much. That's beautiful. Look at that. And can you see the way that soaked up all those lovely juices? When you bite into it, you're going to get all that lovely tomato timey juice coming out there. And for me, just a squeeze of fresh lemon juice on the top of all of that. Look at that. Oh, pan-seared sardines, roasted thyme tomato, and bread salad. Yeah, boy. Today is all about grains and pulses, the foundation to so many wonderful dishes. I make a salad packed with grains, and in the kitchen on the beach, I cook kebabs. Great baking begins with grains, so I took a trip to Plymouth to meet Vicky at Rome Bakery to find out what is so special about those cinnamon buns. Baked goods always put me in a good mood. I've come to the Rome Bakery to find out exactly what they're cooking up. I'm meeting Vicky, who opened her artisan bakehouse in a quiet residential area of Plymouth 2 years ago. And I've heard one of her specialities has been creating quite a buzz with the locals ever since. Vicky?
Hi.
Ainsley, how are you?
Hi, yeah,
Fantastic.
nice to meet you.
What a cool place you have here.
Thank you.
This is just so amazing. You kind of walk in, you're thinking to yourself, surely there's not going to be a bakery here. How did it all begin for you?
We moved into the site about 2 years ago. The place originally was a brewery back in 1901, and my partner's a brewer, and started a kind of brewery and tap room. And then the kind of bakery grew from there, really.
Well, there's been an amazing stir about these bad boys here. Everyone in the area is saying, wow, you've got to try Vicky's beautiful cinnamon buns. What is it? What's the secret?
Well, do you want to have a look in the kitchen? I'll show you.
Oh, I don't mind. I will, definitely.
Okay, I've actually got some dough that I prepared earlier.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that. Now, what are we making here then? What have you got?
So we're making a croissant dough, which is the kind of the base of the cinnamon bun. Got to incorporate the butter.
And look at that butter. Oh, dear. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, and then you just fold the butter in.
That's beautiful. That's rich and buttery, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty buttery.
Yeah, wow.
All good for you.
I know. And where did your love of baking come from then, Vicky?
I don't know, the kind of old story of your mum being a brilliant cook.
Was your mum a really good
Yeah,
cook?
brilliant cook. I mean,
Mine was too. There's something about because you're always in the kitchen looking up, aren't you? Or sitting on the end of the sort of work surface where they're doing stuff and seeing how they sort of stir or...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember my mum used to pick up a handful of something and just throw it in there and later on in life I said to her, Mum, how much was that? She said, a handful. And I said, well, how much is a handful? About this much. Do you know what I mean? That's the way they cook.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So what's the next stage then?
So you just brush it with a bit of water, just to help the kind of cinnamon sugar stick.
Yeah.
And also I hope it adds to the kind of goo when you bake it.
Oh, wow. Looks like you get a lot of satisfaction from this process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really relaxing, which is good for me, I think. So that's just cinnamon and sugar.
I know, but cinnamon is just, it's the
One of those
sweetest
things.
spice going, isn't it? It's the most wonderful spice. I just love it.
And then a nice, generous roll
Yeah,
and a bit of a squash down.
that's it. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Perfect. You know what I like about these?
What's that?
It's a decent portion.
It is
You
indeed.
give a decent portion. Wow.
And whilst we wait for them to come out of the oven, there's something else I think I should try too.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Wow. Look at that. They look brilliant. You proud of them?
Absolutely,
Yeah, I've got
Cheers.
both sides of the business here.
But look at these. Can I tuck into one?
Help yourself, yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at that.
What do you reckon?
Crunchy on the outside and it's soft in the middle. Ideal. I was going to say ideal with a cup of coffee, but I've got a beer here. I think it's ideal with anything. Really well done. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
What a place, eh? What a place. Beers and bakes. They're definitely getting the most out of their grains. Like I'm about to do here with a really special cake, my Dorset apple cake. One of my favourites. Absolutely love it. Take your apples and a coarse cooking apple. Why? Because they break down a little bit more, all right? Now, I've got a couple of varieties of apples here. I've got good old-fashioned eating apple here. And at the moment, I'm peeling a Bramley apple. I love them. Love using them in cooking. Just putting that on the angle and just cutting that out. There you go. Also, we're going to peel our little eating apples there. Now, this is the pink lady, but there's so many different choices out there at the moment for eating apples, aren't there? Now, it really is a matter of getting the balance of what type of apples you use, because we've got a lovely sweet apple here. We've got the sharpness there of the Bramley. So many different varieties of apples. OK, same thing, same principle with our apples here, our slightly sweeter apples. Then we can just slice our apple up like that, OK, look. So simple. Kind of like cakes that you can just take your ingredients out and you can knock them together quite quickly. Effortlessly. What about those Bramleys? Let's slice those up too. A little bit of Bramley going on there. OK, we've got our Bramley sliced up. We've got our beautiful eating apples there, our little pink lady sliced up. And we want the basis of the cake mix. First, we're going to take our flour. I'm just going to pop that into my sieve here. I'm going to add about a teaspoon there of cinnamon. Look at that. I love it. when you start baking and you're doing a little bit of shaking, here we are. First of all, yeah, you begin with buffing up your bramleys and peeling and slicing. Then you're kind of sifting your flour with your cinnamon and all your different sugars, a bit of baking powder. Oh, what you putting that in for, Ains? So you get the perfect rise. Oh, lovely. You're going to take your butter there. Firm piece of butter. I'm just putting straight into my flour. And then, again, it's all about your fingers here. And you're just working that very, very gently, just until you get to that breadcrumb stage. You can do this in a food processor, but use the pulse button, all right? Otherwise, you lose control of it. Just little bits of brook, 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 brook. You know what we're used to, sort of, in the kitchen. We like little pulses in the kitchen every now and then. You don't want it full on in the kitchen all the time. Little pulses work beautifully. And sugar. All right, there's my sugar. All right. And I've also got some sultanas. I particularly like it, but if you don't, you can leave it out. It's not imperative that you need that in there. Let's give me my hands a little bit of a wash and show you how to stir all that through. What about those apples? All right, we're going to take those apple pieces, and that's going in there too. You can see it's dry at the moment, but we're just kind of folding that through, making sure everything gets a little bit of a hint of cinnamon on it. And we need a bit of wet, and that comes in the form of a couple of eggs I'm going to crack here. Couple of eggs, just start to invigorate that. Ooh. First up, Dorset apple cake with cinnamon and sultanas. We are talking about the Grain Express. Woo woo! Not so good with me left hand. Okay, and then pour that over there like that. Look at this, look. Just pouring that in there. Love this stage when you're making a cake and you're just binding everything together. Look at that. All those wonderful pieces of apple. Can you imagine when that cooks in the oven? Those eating apples are going to stay a little bit firmer. The Bramley apples are going to start to cook down and soften. So as you bite into that cake, wow, that's going to be a lovely, lovely treat. There's my tin there, lined with a bit of parchment paper or greaseproof paper. And look, we're just going to take that now. Can you see the mixture? Can you see how that is? All right, look at that, full of that appley goodness. And of course, the grains which are in our flour has created that wonderful creamy texture. So, so important in our cooking. There you go. Just work that with your palette into the corners and everything. And last but not least, which I think is really, really important, because for me, a Dorset apple cake is all about the crunch that you get on the top. How do you get that? With this here, a little bit of demerara sugar, all right? Just going to sprinkle that on the top like this, creating that wonderful crunch. I'm going to pop that into my oven now. That's 160 fan, gas mark 4, for about 45 to 50 minutes. If you insert a skewer in there and it comes out lovely and clean, you know what happens then it's absolutely ready. Take it out, rest it up. But what do you like yours with? Bit of custard, bit of cream? Just have to wait and see. Tidy up, Ains. I think it's about time we took out our Dorset apple cake. Smells absolutely lovely. That's been in there for, what, 43 minutes? And what have we got here? Look, check that out, okay? We're not going to eat it straight away. Like most cakes, you take out the oven, just allow that to relax a little bit. Then we'll pop it onto the wire rack, take a slice, and we'll decide whether it's going to be custard or cream. But for the moment, one thing definitely that goes with a beautiful cake is a cup of tea. Let's put a kettle on. Well, that's cooled down a bit now. Wow. Oh, look at that. That's it. That's come off and left that bit in there. Can't wait. Can you hear that? Can you hear that wonderful crunch? And coming around here, nice bit of... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Can you see the sultanas and everything in there? I love a fruity explosion, but sometimes I like to submerge it in a little bit of cream. Dorset apple cake. Naughty, but delicious. Today's show is filled with all sorts of grains and pulses. First up, Dorset apple cake. And a Dorset apple cake, a little slice of heaven. Well, I'll be cooking in a minute or so, but first, Joseph is off to be a farmer to find out what drove him into making dips.
I'm in Yorkshire to meet Adam from the Honest Bean Company to find out how his passion created an innovative take on one of Britain's oldest crops. Adam.
Hi.
How's it going, mate?
Well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good, good.
I've been hearing some things about a fava bean dip, which is why I'm here.
You've definitely come to the right place then.
I can tell. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong though, the dip actually didn't start with the fava beans, it started with rapeseed oil.
Yeah, that's right. So actually our history is in producing rapeseed oil. So we've always done lots of different things with it. We started off with just the natural rapeseed oil, and then we started looking at making dressings, and we did mayonnaises, and we've always really liked to look at all the different things that we can do with the oil, and we're a big hummus eating family. So yeah, we thought, well, let's have a look at hummus. The slight problem with hummus is I started to look at developing it, and I got myself a bag of chickpeas, and it didn't sit somehow with me. It had a big stamp that said product of Russia on the side of it, and I was just thinking, well, actually this doesn't really sit with any of the kind of ideals that we've got as a company about using local. So we set about trying to find a sort of a protein source to make it other than using chickpeas, and we found the fava bean. So yeah, it's kind of built from there, really.
Nice, man. I mean, I'd love to see how it gets made. Are you going to show me anything?
We're going to make a small batch of this, so you can you can have you can try it and see how we make it, really, see how simple it is.
After you.
Perfect.
First of all, thank you for having me in your lovely home.
You're welcome.
I am curious though, because usually when I make hummus, there's more than two things in front of me. What's going on here?
I have cheated slightly, and I don't want to give all my trade secrets away. So I've got all the oil, the salt, the pepper, the lemon juice, and the garlic all in this bowl, and then we've got our cooked fava beans in this one over here.
I love a streamlined process.
Yeah, exactly. 2 ingredients. That's all you need.
Amazing.
Fava beans in, and then the oil and other ingredients as well. Perfect. Lid on and away with it. And perfect. Looks good, doesn't it?
Look at that.
Let's get a little bit in a bowl. Beautiful. So you ready to try your first fava bean dip?
Of course I am, mate. I've been ready the whole time.
The whole time since we first arrived in the field.
Exactly.
Perfect. We'll grab a breadstick and dig in.
That's what I've been waiting to hear you say, mate.
So we've got the original here. So you just get that nice nuttiness of the rapeseed oil just coming through. Similar texture to hummus, but it's a slightly different flavour.
I mean, it's such an innovative take on a crop that's been around for such a long time, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, actually, the fava bean's been around since the Iron Age. But yeah, I think it's definitely getting a revival at the moment.
Mate, you've revived it with this. It's absolutely delicious. I'm going to get stuck
Try
in.
this one. So we've got the smoked one. Yeah, really lovely little flavour in the smoked one. I think it's probably my favourite one, the smoked one.
It's delicious, mate.
Amazing, isn't it?
And this is the last
So
one.
we've got the last one, so it's a pea and mint, a little bit fresher, a bit more of a summery flavour. Probably one of the best sellers one is that one, because it has that lovely summery kind of notes to it.
Super summery as well. I absolutely love all three of them. I've been so inspired by the pea and mint fava bean dip, I've decided to make myself a little snack. So, peas in, and the beans. Lemon, and some juice. Mint leaves. A little rapeseed oil. couple bits of mozzarella, pinch of salt, and a twist of black pepper. A bit of toast, and we're just gonna serve that on top as a lovely, fresh, summery snack. And that is a beautiful, fresh way of serving those ingredients perfect for summer. Right, Adam, grubs up.
Perfect.
Come and have a taste, let me know what you think.
Oh, mate, that's amazing.
Yeah? Happy?
Perfect.
Have I done the dip justice?
You have definitely done it justice.
That's what I wanted to hear, mate. That's what I wanted to hear.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, love that fresh dish that you did there, Joseph. Very nice. And Adam certainly appreciated it. And for what he was saying about, you know, knowing where our produce comes from, that is absolute key. It's always good, especially if it's on British soil. Now, what about those dips? That smoked dip kind of impressed me. In fact, I'm going to be using that in my next recipe. It's my caraway roasted vegetable with mixed grains. Again, it's all about roasting, getting flavours into your pan, and look at the selection of vegetables that I've got here. I'm going to be starting off with the aubergine here. I'm just going to split that down there, and we're going to be cutting these into wedges. And there's our lovely wedges into our roasting tray. And I've just heated that up. It's on a very, very low heat, because when you put it into the oven, then you literally are waiting for the pan to heat up before that cooking process starts. I've also got the courgettes here. Cutting those, look how big and chunky I'm cutting that. Can you see that? Big chunky pieces there. All right, on the angle a little bit. Make your food look interesting. You bring that to the table and it really looks like a Mediterranean feast that you're offering everybody. Into my pan with those too. I've also got peppers here, red pepper. So I'm just going to cut those into little strips if you like. There we are. That's what I'm talking about. And look here, look. 1, 2, 3, look at that. Very simple. Now, what about the onion here? Cutting into wedges, what does that mean? I'm not removing the root. Can you see the root there? Again, cut there with a bit of root on it, all right? All the time with a little bit of root on it, and that means it holds it all together. Can you see that? There's the root, and that root is holding all of that onion together. It's not falling apart. Going into our pan. And here's something which is slightly unusual, is taking your orange and adding a few slices of orange. Lovely. Now that really is going to bring an intense flavour, isn't it? All that lovely citrusiness is going to be there. Just ease those into the vegetables and there. Love a bit of that. And then I've got my garlic here. Oh, notice here, look what I'm doing? Yeah, I'm throwing whole pieces of garlic in there. I want them to stay in their little papery skins, and when they roast off later I can take them out whole and squeeze out that lovely roasted garlicky flavour on top to create a kind of a bit of a sauce if you like. Let's get the oil in there. That's it, beautiful. That's roasting off beautifully now. And we've got our caraway, lovely aniseedy flavour there. Beautiful caraway seed. Salt and pepper, guys. You notice, kind of working my way around there that everything gets a little bit of something. Okay, then I'm going to pop these guys into my oven, that 180 fan, that's gas mark 6, and it's going to be in there for about sort of 20-25 minutes. Take it out, pop my cherry tomatoes on top, back in the oven again. When they blister up, take them out, make a lick of wild grain going on the top, a lick a bit of wild grain, mix in. Okay, let's get that in the oven. I think it's about time we checked on those roasted vegetables. And I'll tell you what, sometimes you don't even need to think about time. Your nose tells you everything. You can smell when they're roasting beautifully. And, check this out, guys, look. Here we are. Ooh, a little bit hot. Can you see those? Look how everything started to caramelise just a touch. got my cherry tomatoes here now, and all I'm going to do is just pop those on top, pop them back into the oven just for a brief moment. Here we are, just a little touch of oil on that. Okay. Beautiful. There we are. Back in another 10-15 minutes, okay? Okay, now they're on the way. What about my walnuts? Well, I'm going to roughly chop them, pan on, over a lowish heat. All right, then we're going to take our nuts, pop them into a pan, and you toast your walnuts off. I'd say always to heat the pan just a little bit to start with, all right? And that means as soon as the nuts go in there, they start to release their oil and you're not waiting for the pan to heat up. Bit similar to what I was talking about the tray, you know, before you put it in the oven. I'm going to add a touch of harissa paste, yeah, that hot kind of chili paste. That's going straight in there like that. Turn that heat off now. I'm just going to toss those through. Can you see that? All right, you can stir yours through, but I like to put things in my pan and stir them round occasionally too. Look at that, lovely. Love the look of that. Okay, let's take out our roasted vegetables and tomatoes. Yeah, now put that there. Look, can you see how the tomatoes have slightly begun to blister? The skins are blistering. That's absolutely lovely. I'm just going to lift that out now. Okay, one of the reasons I'm doing that is because I've got this little number here to add to it. Can you see these mixed grains? Guys, you can actually buy pouches of mixed grains now. We've got wheat berries, we've got quinoa, I've got some black barley in there, some looks like wild rice, and that whole combination of healthy proteins all inside there. And we're just going to sprinkle that around our beautiful roasted vegetables there. I've got a little bit of that orange zest going in there, just the touch of that, and a touch of the juice too. Oh, beautiful, isn't that lovely? Fab. Love the look of that. Okay, little fresh parsley here. So nice, big, chunky bits. Just put that in there, throw it in there like that. Early on I told you about putting the garlic inside. Look at this, if I give that a little bit of a squeeze, can you see that coming out now? Look, beautiful. That little bit of garlic there, we're going to give that a little bit of a mix through there. That's roasted off, that's absolutely perfect. Just kind of mash it, can you see that? I'm just very gently mashing it. All right, what about these then, guys? Look at that. Look, here they go. Those beautiful harissa roasted or toasted walnuts. Really, really lovely. These tomatoes, I'm just going to kind of pull off a few bits like that, all right? Let's serve up. Now, I've got, you can see here, look, got a bit of pita bread there. You can use any of those pita breads. Just warm them through slightly. That's okay, just pile that up there. So we've got lots of lovely layers. It looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? Okay, and we're just going to lift out these now. Look at this, beautiful. Look at that fantastic selection of wonderful veggies. Now you can see what's happening there. Not only have we got colour in there, we've got wonderful protein, wonderful flavour, and of course all that nutrition that you're going to get from those fantastic grains. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I'm serving that with a bit of the smoked dip that Adam provided for it. I've got a little bit of yoghurt there, and I'll tell you what, my Caraway roasted vegetables with mixed grains. A healthy bite prepared by me for you. Enjoy. I'm exploring the world of grains and pulses. I've already made a salad of sardines and roasted tomatoes, a piece of summer. I made a salad perfect for summer dinner. Ah, how beautiful. But my last dish today is Tikka Kebabs, bursting with punchy flavours of India and served with a fresh chickpea salad. Have I got some wonderful flavours going on here. I'm starting off with a bit of yoghurt. I'm going to hit that with a little bit of spice, some turmeric and chilli going in there. And then to that, I've got some tikka masala paste. And I've got here some chickpea flour. Have you heard of that before, gram flour? Well, all I've done is I've put that into a dry pan and I've toasted it, just literally warmed it a little bit. You'll see the colour change just very, very slightly, but it really does introduce a bit more sort of power into your garam flour. Love the idea of that. Lemon juice, guys. Squeeze your lemon juice in there. Now, all of this is going to make a sensational marinade. Look at that, all that lemon juice going in there. And then I'm going to grate in a bit of fresh ginger. Beautiful. We've also got a couple of cloves of garlic there, so a bit of garlic going in there too. And then you're going to blend that together. Just kind of stir that round, all those lovely flavours intermingling with one another. Hello, masala. Why, hello, ginger. Where's garlic? Garlic, what are you doing? Come on, join the party. Oh, can I sit next to turmeric? You certainly can. Oh, lovely. Salt going in there like that. And a little bit of, what goes on top of Susie's salt? And the sea says, sea pepper. Beautiful. Now, I've got here some chicken that I've diced up there, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of that and put into my chicken, all right? About half of that. And over here, look what I've got over here. Look at that. That is actually the Paneer cheese, that wonderful Indian cheese. Not only does it absorb wonderful flavours, it also takes quite fierce heat too when you're popping it on the barbecue. So all of that going in there, just blending that together. So we've got the Paneer cheese in one. I'm going to take half my marinade, add that to the chicken, and just going to blend that together. Here it is, look. That's it, just work that together. Oh, it just really does smell good. Onion, chop that up. Quite chunky pieces, guys, all right? Remember, can you see when I've cut that, you've got the root here at the back, all right? That's what holds the onion together. But once you cut through there and you remove that, and suddenly everything can be separated quite beautifully. So in we go like that. Nice big pieces. It is going onto the barbecue. So we've got half of that going into our paneer. Once again, you've got the root at the back there. Run your knife in there, that you'll have all those pieces separate quite beautifully. Can you see that? That's what we're looking for. Then we can transfer those pieces into our bowl. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the pepper. In we go, just removing those stalks and all of those little bits and pieces. Give it a little bit of a tap. Let's just dice that up now. Nice chunky pieces. All of this is going to go onto our skewers. There we are. So we've got half. That's one already done. That's going onto my paneer. And the other one is the chicken, and the peppers are going in there too. Give that a little bit of a mix. And if you can, I want you to leave that to marinate for a couple of hours. And because I knew I was doing this for you, I've got a couple that are marinating down here already. And here we are. Look at this. Look. That's beautiful. You can see there. Look at that. Beautiful. And we've got the same here with the Paneer cheese. Okay, that's already done too. I put my grill on. You could do it on the barbecue. Also, do it in the oven. But I'm going to start skewering this up now. I can be quite firm with the Paneer. That's the real beauty of it. Really like it a lot. All right, skewering up as we go. That's going to be really, really good. Just pop that onto my tray. We'll do another one of those. That's the paneer done. Now, what about that chicken? Same procedure there. Bit of onion, bit of pepper. Make sure you put the skewer centrally into that piece of chicken. Plenty going on there. I'm going to wash my hands and I think we'll be ready to cook. Now, look what I've got here. Can you see that? If you get a look at that, they're quite sort of dusty on top, still quite hot here. Okay, we want something that's going to sear our chicken, but we also don't want have flames going so it burns it, all right? And if you're using wooden skewers, don't forget, just soak them in water half an hour before, all right, guys? But I like using metal skewers is what I got here. So I'm going to just pop them now straight onto my barbie. Now, I'm just starting off my chicken first because the paneer won't take as long. That's going to take about sort of 12 minutes. We're going to be turning that over. But whilst we wait for that, let's crack on and make our really scrummy, fresh, crunchy chickpea salad. Okay, here we are, some chickpeas in there. And I'm going to start off here. Some diced tomato on top of your chickpea. And then on top of the tomato and the chickpea, we're grating a nice bit of fresh garlic. I've also got a little bit of spice there. We're going to kick it up a little bit. Okay, you don't have to put it in, but I like a little bit of chili spice just to kind of lift it a little bit. That's lovely. I've got a little honey that I'm just drizzling in. Beautiful. There you go. I've got some mint and we've also got a bit of coriander, and I just want to chop that up for you. I'm just going to take that. That's going to go into our tomato and chickpeas too. Also got a bit of a spring onion here. I'm just cutting that just on the angle. Can you see that? And if I give that a little bit of a squeeze, can you see how that all separates beautifully? And it creates little bits of shards, or just makes it a little bit more interesting. In that goes into our salad too. Can you see what's happening here? You start getting a little bit of an aroma going. Look at that, that's well charred, isn't it, eh? There you go. And then we can move on to our cucumber. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split it first and then turn it over so it's flat, all right? Cutting through there. And I'm just going to take that little bit of watery bit out of there, okay, very gently. We don't want our salad totally wet, all right? You've got plenty of flavour in here anyway. Then I'm splitting it in half again, and then we can chop it up. Everything should be roughly about the same size. That's what we're looking for. And all of that is going into our salad too. Okay, we've got all that lovely crunch going on in there. You see me put the different things in there, the chickpea, the tomato, the cucumbers, the spring onion, and we want to bind it together now. And what I'm going to do with that is add a little bit of yogurt, okay? Beautiful, natural yogurt going in there, and a touch of lemon juice. Beautiful. That really is lovely. The yogurt going through there, the mint, the freshness of that, it really is so exciting. Let's season that up a little bit. A little bit of Susie salt and Percy pepper going on there. We're going to allow that just to mingle together a little bit, and then we can whop on these Paneer kebabs here too. Just going to nestle them on there like that next to those chicken kebabs. They really are, they're getting really, look, gorgeously gorgy. Now, sometimes when you have things like those lovely Tikka kebabs, you want a little bit of chutney to go with it. I've got the ideal thing for you here, the quickest chutney in the world. In here, I've got some herbs, which is the mint and the coriander. I'm going to pop that into my mini food processor, and that's going to be a little bit dry to start with. So what I suggest you do is just take a little bit of water and drizzle just a touch of water in there, just to help things move a little bit, all right? And we're just going to blitz away. That's it. All right, lovely. Let's just give this a bit of a turn. Look how quickly these things go here, guys. Look at this. And next to that, I'm going to add chili, so just chop that up. When the fresh chili's going there, you know it's going to have a wonderful kick, didn't you? And then to that, a touch of sugar, a little bit of ginger. Absolutely perfect. Look at that. Lovely. That lemon's going in there too. And we end up with the most wonderful spicy chutney to accompany our Tikka kebabs. All right, now let's take off our kebabs here. They're looking rather charred, aren't they? But they're absolutely delicious, full of that lovely flavour. Ah, great. We've got our kebabs already done there. We've got our fresh, beautiful, nice chickpea salad there. And we're going to finish this off now with our rather nice chutney. Open that up. A little bit of S, a little bit of P. Give it another blitz, and we're ready to eat. Perfect. We've got that rather delicious, beautiful green chutney there. Look at that. That's lovely. We've got a nice bowl of fresh chickpea salad. Beautiful. There you go. Let's have a little bit of that going on there. And we serve that with our rather scrummy kebabs. Well, there we have it. My paneer and chicken tikka kebabs with a crunchy chickpea salad served with a rather exciting chili pickle. Wow, what a great way to end the show. I certainly hope I've given you an insight into how wonderful pulses and grains can be. Until next time, take care.